Charlene back to talk to you about dogs. And dogs know that they're born in 1946, 1958, 1970, 1982, 1994, 2006, and 2018. So, as we know by observing just domestic dogs, super loyal animals. They stick by their person and they'll defend their people to the end. So, people do have guard dogs, but other people just have them as companions because they make such great companions. Now, they're very loyal, and when you have a dog as a friend in the Chinese astrology, as a human dog friend, you'll have a friend for life. And they're one of these animals that tend to be a little quieter. They don't communicate as well as most animals. So in that, they can become kind of withdrawn and they come across as being stubborn sometimes. So one thing you have to do with dogs is make sure you tell them you appreciate them. And there's a few in the elementals that are really important, like the wood dog, for example. Really important to tell them how much you appreciate them. Now, they're honest, they're cautious, they're kind, and they're super sincere. Like I say, they're not great at communication. It can come across as being stubborn, but they need to learn how to be able to communicate better. So people will, they tend to be a bit mistrustful. So they can tend to be a little like self-conscious around that. So when you're, just be transparent with your dog friends. Like, don't hold things back because it'll make them distrust you and then they don't know whether they should talk to you or not. So they have a peculiar way. In the human form, dogs have a peculiar way of communicating and being understood. Now, they're very smart and they're super compassionate, but they can also be critical. And that can come from the fact that they don't know how to communicate properly, so they'll voice it in terms of some kind of criticism. So if you know that your friend is a dog, just just temper that with a lot of love and kindness because they'll give it back to you in spades. So that's, it's just nice to know that. They're very prudent by nature. They're, like I say, they're kind and loving, and they will do anything for you once you're their friend. So let's look at the different elementals for the dogs. The wood dog, born in 34 and 1994, super sincere, very reliable, very compassionate, and very understanding. So they have a very patient and considerate nature, and they need to know they're appreciated. The fire dog was born in 1946 and 2006. They're smart, very hardworking, they're very sincere, but that fire element gives them the ability to be a little more forward and communicative than other dogs. The earth dog, they are the best communicators because they have that nurturing energy, so they like to communicate in ways of doing things for people. They tend to be more serious, but they're also super responsible. Now, the metal dogs were born in 1970. They're the more conservative of the dogs. They're more cautious. They're very ready to help other people. And there's something about that metal bling that makes them a little more attractive. And I'm finding that is coming up as I research the animals a bit more, is that if you have metal in your animal, whether it's the base element or whether it's actually the year you're born, there is that like attractive blinginess. So people tend to be a little more like walking, you'll see a certain dog go by and you'll go, what kind of dog is that? Metal dogs have that ability to be attractive and a lot, more beautiful. Water dogs, born 1982. Water dog is brave. They're financial experts. They have a reputation for being self-centered and selfish because they tend to go really deep and they're really powerful in what they do and they're really smart. So it comes across as kind of being self-centered and selfish, but they know their stuff. Now, dogs are, they align with Libra in the Western astrology, and they get they're the best tertiary animals. And I've mentioned this when I talk about other animals. When I talk about tigers, I say dogs and horses. Now I'm talking about dogs, and I'm saying they get along really well with tigers and horses. Now, they should avoid dragons because it's right across the animal, right across from them. And they should avoid roosters, but they may get along with rabbits. So that's my little talk about the dogs. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure you take care of your dog friends. Tell them how much you appreciate them. Please leave messages or leave comments and subscribe. Thank you for joining me.